Angel, I don't know. She's got those horns on her.
No, it's
Kitty
ears,
cat
cat
ears.
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 Cat
Yeah.
ears. Okay,
Yeah,
cat
Uh,
cat ears.
yeah.
Angel is actually my editor.
Oh,
Okay.
okay. You're muted, Angel.
You're
You can
muted,
unmute
Angel.
for a little bit.
And I'm in the process of doing her website too.
Uh,
I'm all over the place lately.
yeah. You're a busy woman.
I stay busy on purpose. I'd go nuts if I wasn't.
Can you
Hmm.
hear me now?
Yes.
Now we can hear you.
Okay. I always have to mess around with things because it always jumps around on where it's going to actually send the sound through. Anyways, they are my kitty ears, and if the light up headset gets to be annoying to anyone, just let me know and I'll unplug that portion.
No, it's cute. It's lighting your hair up nice. I like it.
Hmm. Yeah.
And I apologize if my dogs start barking and I don't hit the mute in time. I have two little dogs, and the one loves to shove his tennis ball in the corner between the bed and the wall and then bark at me to get it for him.
Yeah.
Kathleen's dog was squeaking a toy earlier. It was great.
Yeah.
We're talking, and all we're hearing is squeak, 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 squeak in the background. It was great.
Okay. I do have it recording because we are going to post this
Yeah.
also. Um, we're going to go ahead and get started because I want to respect everybody's time. Uh, for those of you who don't know me, I'm Kathleen Osborne, and I am the president of the White Mountains chapter of Arizona Professional Writers. And we have Paula, who is the vice president, and David, who is our treasurer, with us today. And we also have somebody from our state board, Marie Fasano. And I don't know if I'm saying that right, Maria.
You are. It's correct. Yes. Thank
Okay.
you.
And I know we're going to have some of the others from our board coming on. Some don't get home from work until 6 o'clock, so it's hard for them to get in right away. So, um, but Marie, actually, I asked Marie if she would tell everybody a little bit about APW.
Well, Arizona Professional Writers originally was Arizona Press Women in the 1940s because the press, when the men had their press conferences, they didn't allow women in at that time. So the Arizona Press Women decided they wanted to have a group. So they started in the 40s. And since then, I think it was probably not too long ago that we changed it to Arizona Professional Writers because we
Hmm.
have had men and women in it. We decided that we couldn't just didn't want to just have men in the group. The writers have been a variety of people. I'm a journalist and I've done some writing as I'm a nurse and I've done some healthcare writing and right now I do mostly journalism and articles and a few done some memoirs. But the group does all kinds of things. We have men and women who are novelists, journalists. Who's coming in here? Joanna. Some people have a lot of fun stuff too.
Uh-huh.
And I wanted to let you know that we have an annual conference. We give a scholarship. So if you know of any young high school person or a college person who is studying communications, we don't limit it just to writers. So if they're studying communications and you know someone who is possibly a good candidate, please let me know. Kathleen Kelly and myself are working on the scholarship committee, and we give a scholarship away each year, 1,000 or 2,000, depend how much money we have. So we're quite active with that. We get involved in a variety of programs. This year we're getting involved in the Scottsdale Book Festival and the Tucson Book Festival.
Mhm.
And any of you who are members, we have some members who already have said they're coming to the Tucson Book Festival, but we're putting out, our president Carol will be putting out a lottery because we have 4 open spaces for the Tucson Book Festival. And we have an excellent corner booth. And the APW as a gift, we're paying for the insurance for the writers, and those are some of the things that we do for our writers. So that's a little bit about APW. And then we have chapters right now. We have chapters in Central and Rim Country and Show Low. Kathleen?
Okay, thank you. I forgot to tell everybody that I write science fiction romance mit aliens because I live up in the White Mountains where aliens abide, seemingly. And Paula's going to share some things too from what we do in the White Mountains.
Okay. All right. We have started monthly doing a open mic night for writers. We call it Share Your Words. And everybody that wants to signs up for it. And they have a little time to talk about what they're going to read. And then they have up to 5 minutes to read from. We've had quite a few poets. Some people read from their fiction. Just a wide variety. We had food, and we asked for a $10 donation from those who are coming, and we're trying to get more of the public to come and listen, and so that helps pay for the food and the rental of the room, which is at the Arts Alliance of the White Mountains. Coming up starting in March, our entries will open for our second writing contest, and the award for that will be given out at our third Writers Conference, which is on July 31st, and our third book festival will be on August 1st.
Exactly. And you can start writing now. It can be fiction or nonfiction. 1,500 words, no less than 500. It can be the beginning of a book or a complete short story. And it is anonymous judged. So, and if you want deep critique, we also offer that. It's $20 to enter for one story and $40 for the deep critique. So,
Kathleen, sorry, I just forgot to mention, which I should have, just very briefly, that we are members of the National Federation of Press Women. When you mentioned the contest, and they have a national contest and awards, and many of our Arizona writers have won awards over the years, so we're quite well known in the contest. Forgot to
woohoo!
say. Mhm.
Yeah. And I know that when you sign up to become part of APW, you can sign up to be part of National Federation.
NFPW as well,
Yeah.
yes.
And it's actually a deal to do both. You save some money to sign up for both at the same time. Now, I want to introduce, before I do that, has anybody had anything published this month? Anything new? Okay, Paula.
So I published my third lunar enforcement mystery just last week. I published the paperback. I've got that ordered, and I published the ebook in broad, all formats. And I'm going to do all of my ebooks in multiple formats from now on. So that is my 29th book.
Congratulations. And that's one of the things that we're doing at the open mic is if you want to do a book launch, you get to be the first one to speak. And you get to talk a little bit longer and read a little bit longer. Now, let me introduce to you our guest speaker tonight. Her name is Beth, freely, and she's been writing all of her life, a passion shaped by her upbringing in upstate New York and an influential time living in Great Britain, an experience that continues to inspire her work, now calling the small village of Hope, New Mexico home, population 113 if you count their cats. She's penned over 15 full-length novels, numerous novellas, more in the works. Beth's writing career took off in 2003 when she published fan fiction online and won multiple awards. In 2005, she earned first place in the Arch Book Publishing Novel Contest for women's fiction in Behind the Eyes of Dorian Gray. And in 2022, her novel Beyond the Steps of Stone won first place in romance science fiction and second place in science fiction aliens and alien invasion at the Spring Books Festival Awards. Recently, her novel Love of a Samurai reached 13th bestseller and first new release, number one new release in historic Japanese fiction 4 days after release. Armed with a master's in English and creative writing, Beth is not only passionate about storytelling, but also about mentoring fellow authors. Quick-witted and full of energy, she thrives on engaging interviews and lively discussions. She is a BookFest bellwether and can be found trading witty banter with her fellow bellwethers during the biannual BookFest Awards, as well as conducting engaging author interviews. She's also a member of the Sholo, Arizona Professional Writers Chapter. First, oh, sorry about that. When she's not writing, she enjoys horseback riding, swimming, reading, and of course, cuddling her cats. And she also does martial arts, by the way.
Yes. Yes. I do. Thank you for that wonderful introduction. And just so everybody knows, I actually had to stop and think about it because I've put so much stuff out this year that I actually did have a release this month. I had a short story in an anthology this month called Queen of the Sea Glass Throne. Angel, did I put out anything else this month? Angel and I talk every day, so and we're in numerous anthologies together. So world.
I'm trying to think. I don't think you have.
No, I don't think. I think that was the only one.
Because your Global Beast book was in September, right?
Yeah, that was on my birthday in September. So yeah. Okay, cool. Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, no, I had to think so too. I was like, wait a minute.
But I'm here tonight to talk to you guys about, well, a subject that is, a favorite of all of ours, writing, and namely writing emotional depth into your stories. So I'm going to share my screen here because I got a little presentation for you. I came equipped with pretties for all of you to see. So all right, hold on here. I gotta change my layout because I got people in the way over here. Okay, so let's talk about some emotional depth. I don't know if you can see this. There we go. All right. This is one of my favorite sayings by Robert Frost. No tears in the writer, no tears in the reader. No, hey, stop that. Go back. Silly thing. No surprise in the writer, no surprise in the reader by Robert Frost. Have you ever written a scene that made you cry? Not because the scene was sad, but because for a moment you forgot you were actually the writer and you were just feeling it as you were writing. Okay. When that happens, when you find yourself crying or when you find yourself getting mad, that's how you know the emotion in your writing is real. I've made people cry. Emotional architecture in your writing is the invisible scaffolding behind every powerful story. And it's not about melodrama or tragic events. It's about the truth in your writing. It's quiet honesty that makes your reader stop, breathe, and remember what it feels like to be human. When I talk about emotional depth in writing, I'm not talking about adding more adjectives or weeping confessions or fights, fight scenes or anything like that. I'm talking about the feelings that actually exist beneath the words. These are the bones that hold your story up. In my own work, going back to my very first novel, Behind the Eyes of Dorian Gray, I learned this. I learned that this emotional architecture is very important to your story. Um, I made myself cry when I wrote that book. When I wrote the scene where Dorian is fading away with every stroke of the clock until he disappears from sight, I was bawling my eyes out. I'm typing away. Writing was happening. I put in a clock chime and I write some more. And I handwrote that book before I ever put it on the computer. And I still have those original pages and they're crinkly from where my tears hit the page. When I wrote Love of a Samurai, I made myself cry quite a few times across 788 pages. I also made myself laugh and I also made myself very angry. And it's the nature of the book. Now, Angel actually edited that book, so I know she can attest to the fact that I made people cry with that book. And I tell people when I sell them that novel, box of tissues does not come with it. Whenever you evoke that kind of response in yourself as the writer and in your reader, in your editor, in your beta readers, in your ARC readers, that's emotional truth. That comes from the writer first, and then it transfers over to the reader. And it's what allows readers to really engage with your story. As writers, our job isn't to invent emotion. I mean, we all have emotions. It's our job to remember these emotions and to translate it in such a way that our readers are crying and laughing and getting angry with us. Tonight, I'm going to show you how to build that architecture, not through adjectives, not through action. Yes, through action. Sorry, not through adjectives, but through action and sensory layering and the use of silence in your story. So, how do we build this? We're going to start with talking about emotion through action. We have all heard the wonderful saying, show don't tell. We all know that. Show don't tell. I'm going to refine that because I know for a lot of authors, no matter what stage in your writing career you're at, show don't tell can be very confusing. So I'm going to clarify this a little bit. When you say show don't tell, okay, it's meaning show through movement, show through feelings, not through measurement. So if I was to say she was nervous, I'm giving you that information. That's telling. If I was to say her hands trembled against the teacup and the porcelain clicked softly against the saucer, that's showing because now you can feel it. This invokes a sound. In your mind, you can hear that clinking on the teacup. In your mind, you can see her hand shaking. That's more powerful than saying she was nervous. You're showing that she's nervous. Emotion lives in verbs. Instead of naming the feeling, nervous, she's got nerves, you're showing the feeling. Hands that won't let go, a silence that stretches, a breath that breaks stillness. These are all things that show and evoke emotions. Our readers do not fall in love with adjectives. They fall in love with gestures that mirror real human behavior. So the way someone will fold a napkin to avoid saying what they're really feeling, the way they avoid eye contact. A man who keeps retying his shoe to delay saying goodbye. These are all actions that are conveying that emotion. In Love of a Samurai, you can see the paragraph in front of you. I'm going to read this real quick. The towering trees had swallowed the golden afternoon light, and the last bird call had long since faded into stillness. The air felt close, and she felt a visceral unease slither through her. The forest had grown quiet. The air was too thick, and everything seemed to be waiting for something to happen. It was almost as if the forest had stopped breathing. Now, this paragraph, I would hope, translates to you all as there's something going on that's making her uneasy. It heightens the tension in the scene. It uses setting to say that she was uneasy. And when you write emotion, you need to ask yourself, if this feeling was a physical action, what would it look like? In this case, the physical action is feeling the air being close around her, feeling an unease slither through her. And even though I use the word unease in this paragraph, the word slither probably evokes a different feeling. You know, you hear the word slither, you're thinking inchworms or a snake or something like that, which evokes a feeling of potentially fear or uncomfortableness. By using verbs like slither, you can evoke a stronger emotion because it's an action word. Of course, we've got our five senses. So this is another way to build our emotion, our emotional depth, and bolster up our emotional architecture. We all know human beings have five senses: smell, touch, sound, sight, and taste. You know, we've all grown up learning this. Each one of these senses, though, triggers something different. Emotion can enter through our five senses. And before your reader thinks about how a scene feels, they need to smell it, taste it, hear it, see it, and touch it. You do not have to use all five in the same scene, but they help. Smell is memory's shortcut. You know, the scent of smoke, rain, old paper, or even the smell of cherry blossoms can summon grief or love or anger before a single word of dialect is ever spoken. Obviously, touch is grounding and creates the intimacy. You know, the roughness of a calloused palm, silk slipping through fingers. Sound creates a rhythm. The hollow knock of a cup on a table. The silence, like in the scene with Helena in the previous slide, of the woods. Taste evokes nostalgia. You know, tea shared between two people who once stopped speaking. I mean, for me, I think about drinking a cup of tea and how it tastes to my memories of England. And sight is your perspective. You know, what is your character noticing first that tells the reader where their heart is, whether it's good or bad? You layer these things within your story, within what you're telling, you know, the tale that you're creating for your reader. You're creating emotional depth without ever having to name the feeling that you are trying to evoke. Now, I don't expect you to read all the text on this next slide. You can read this later. But this is a scene where I layered the five senses. This is actually the tea ceremony. And in Edo period Japan, the tea ceremony was a way for a man and woman to convey their feelings. This is from Love of a Samurai. And the sensory detail within the scene carries emotional weight. It's become more than a ritual. It's become language. It's revealed The emotion is revealed not through any dialogue, because if you look, you see there's absolutely no dialogue in this scene, but it's revealed what is happening, what they're feeling here is revealed through the body and the senses. For example, sight. Every motion that Helena is making, that Ugio is seeing, is deliberate. From the measured pour to the rise of the steam, it's an unspoken grace between them. And the eyes are reading devotion and stillness. Silence is actually the sound in this scene. It's the dialogue that you're not reading. It's the absence of noise that's giving shape to feeling. Each pause is thick with meaning. When their hands touch around the cup, it is intimate. Even though it's just a glancing touch, it's still an intimate one. It's skin to skin connection. That's both confession and reverence. Smell, the incense in the air, the earthy steam of the tea anchors the moment in memory, and it evokes both presence and peace in our characters. And then, of course, taste of the tea itself. It's bitter, it's grounding, it's faintly sweet. It's matcha. Anybody who's drunk matcha knows what that tastes like. And it mirrors the complexity of Helena and Ugio's bond: past, pain, quiet forgiveness, and an emerging trust. By using the five senses in the scene, I was able to translate emotion into an experience. The ceremony becomes an unspoken exchange of trust and belonging, proof that the most profound feelings are often communicated without words. And if you look at the five senses as emotional shorthand, then you can reach the reader's heart before their brain ever catches up. You'll have snagged them and roped them in right away. I mentioned silence too. And again, I don't expect you to read all of these, but silence is in and of itself a way to create emotional depth. And silence is more than just silence in the scene.
No,
silence...
your phone has this feature.
Okay, moving on. Silence also means hold on, I lost my train of thought here. Let me try again. Okay. Silence in and of itself is a way to create emotional depth. Emotions need some breathing room. Okay, you can't go from super emotional scene to super emotional scene to super emotional scene. You're going to wear your reader out if you do. But you have an emotional scene and it says something, and then you can have some silence through, a couple of scenes. And I'm not saying silence that's devoid of dialogue. I mean silence that slows down your emotions and provides some pacing. If you rush emotional moments, you're going to rob them of power. Silence is both literal and structural. And this is how your readers can feel what your characters are not saying. In most prose, the silence appears through pacing. We're looking at short sentences after long ones, white space between paragraphs, pauses in dialogue that stretch just a beat too long. We've all seen the M dash or the ellipses. When somebody goes to say something and they pause. That's silence. That's pacing. It's the heartbeat of your story. If your heart is racing the entire time, a single moment's not going to stand out. But when it slows down, when it skips, that's where we feel it. Sometimes the most powerful line you will ever write as an author is the one that you don't write at all. So in the sample that I'm showing here, Ugio, my main male character, gives Helena a fan. This is Edo period Japan. He presents it very, very formally, and he never says a word. And on the slide, I show you the excerpt from the scene and what it's saying. And you can see as you kind of bounce down through it, where gesture is replacing language and where silence is actually setting up your emotion. The lack of dialogue around Ugio's offering of the fan is not a gift, it's his surrender. He is a warrior that's defined by control and precision, and he exposes a part of himself that values peace, reflection, and stillness without saying a word. The fan contrasts everything he has ever known of battle and discipline. And by giving it to Helena, he isn't offering power or an apology, he is offering trust. It's the moment that he, my main character, chooses vulnerability over mastery. The emotional depth in this silence, in this particular act, no words, no declaration, just reverence and restraint. He says everything he cannot voice. And that's how you can use silence in your writing. In this scene, it functions as an emotional architecture. It replaces the dialogue with presence. It transforms restraint into trust, and it allows the unsaid to resonate louder than any confession. When used intentionally, silence creates space, and in that space, readers can find themselves. So, silence and pacing helps you build your rhythm intentionally, and it lets your prose breathe. And emotion lives in these quiet little seconds between action and reaction. Now, you guys didn't know I was going to come give you homework, did you? I want you to all stop for a minute and think about this, and I want you to write 2 sentences that convey an emotion without naming the sentence, without naming the emotion. I want you to think about the examples I've showed you. I only want you to use action, sense, or rhythm to make us feel that emotion. Go ahead. Let's see what you got. Remember, you're building bones here of your story. You're thinking of your characters. You're trying to convey something without telling your reader what it is. Paul, are you done?
Yep.
Okay. I'll give you guys just a couple more seconds here. Okay. Who wants to share?
I will.
All right. What you got?
She stalked from the room, slamming the door.
Okay.
And she took a ragged breath and reached for her handkerchief.
Okay. Very good. So in the first example, to stalk from the room and slam the door, what is the emotion Paul is trying to convey here?
Anger or frustration.
Okay. Anybody else?
You can unmute.
Yeah, I was going to say anger. That's what that made me think of was anger.
Was it anger, Paula?
Yes.
Okay. That's a perfect example right there of how you convey emotion without saying storm from the room angry. Angel, what'd you get? What'd you write?
I didn't quite get the full two sentences, but her hand and I took a scene from a short story that I just finished and or an event from the story and kind of used that as my basis. Her hands shook as she reached out and traced his cheek, the backs of her fingers softly skimming the scruff that remained. A ragged breath left her parted lips as her eyes closed, and that's as far as I got.
That's okay. I think we know where you're going with that. Anybody want to offer their opinion there?
Love, lust,
Mm-hmm.
Romance,
Mm-hmm.
anticipation.
Anticipation. That's good. Yes. I like that. Anticipation right there. Yes. And
And
and in this case, it's probably all three. Love, lust, anticipation, all of it.
actually,
Oh,
that's actually an interesting take on it because the scene is actually her spouse of 3 years was a soldier and he was killed in an explosion and she's saying goodbye to him. But that's cool that it could be
ah,
that it had I didn't even think of it that way. I just took it
okay.
from that scene where she had to say goodbye to him.
And this is
But
a good
that's actually a good
example.
way.
Yeah, and this is a good example, okay, of how something magical in writing can happen. We all, from a small single sentence out of context, all felt that this was a romantic scene. Okay. This and yet that's not exactly what it was. This is where, as authors, our magic happens. Okay. The fact that Angel wrote this and we all felt, anticipation, love, lust, and it being something else is a perfect example of how we evoke emotions with words. This is what happens when we allow our writing to connect with our five sentences and it shows truth instead of labels. Kathleen, what do you have?
Tanya's eyes stayed on James as he slept. Silent tears trickled down her face. She touched her young son and rose from her seat and left the room.
Okay. Anybody want to take a gander here at what Kathleen was trying to evoke?
Sadness,
Mm-hmm.
love.
Grief.
Grief, yeah, that sounded like grief to
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was grief. The boy's dying.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what's interesting is that sadness, grief, while sadness and grief can be almost the same thing, it's really two different emotions. You can be sad, but not grieving. You can be
Mm-hmm.
grieving. I want to say you could be grieving and not sad, but the two kind of go hand in hand together. But based on the words that you use, that's what basically tells you the difference between sad and grief. That's what pulls that emotion together.
Mm-hmm.
Good job, guys. Good job. So I love this, and I'm probably dating myself as a Bee Gees fan, but emotion isn't written, it's remembered, by the brothers Gibb.
Right.
And you know what, go back and listen to that song because it's very truthful. I mean, that's truly the heart of it. you know we want our readers to feel something, not because we described it perfectly, but because we reminded them of something real. And when you write with emotional depth, it's not about crying on the page. Even though as authors, we tend to soak our keyboards and our notebooks and stuff with our own tears. It's about listening. It's about listening to your characters. It's about listening to your own senses and translating that to the paper. And it's also about listening to the quiet that appears between the words. I'm going to leave you with this thought. Your best writing always happens in the space between feeling and silence.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all I've got for you.
Unless you have some questions.
I have no questions, but I do have something I have to say about For Love of a Samurai. First of all, I could go on and forever about the book because I absolutely loved it. And that was my first
Yes.
foray into one of Beth's books. And I'm hooked. But if you ever want to read a beautifully poignant death of a main character, you need to read For Love of a Samurai. I bawled my eyes out, but at the same time, I was like, "Oh my God, that was so beautiful." So
Kathleen,
I
she
just had
has
to
not.
say that.
Kathleen, she has not read the piece that I put in Reverie yet.
Okay.
No.
I need to send it to her.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, you do.
Thank you, Angel. I appreciate it. Anybody have any questions, thoughts, comments, concerns?
Would you have these slides that you showed us? Are they going to be available somewhere?
Yes, Kathleen already has it. She's got it with my talking points and everything for you guys to have to reference back to.
Yeah.
I couldn't take notes fast enough.
The only one I don't have Angel, I don't have your email, and Joanna or Jonna, I don't have yours. So
I
have
can
everybody
get it
else's.
to Angel. I can get it to
Okay.
Angel because
Yeah.
there's a couple of other people in the group, our shared worlds groups that wanted it too, that couldn't make it tonight. So I'll get it to
Okay.
Angel.
Okay. But if I don't have your email, or you can email me, I'm going to put the email in my email in the chat. If I could type. Some days. Have you ever had those days when your fingers don't
Every
do
day
what you
lately.
say? Uh,
Beth, thank you. Those were some really good points.
You're welcome.
I really agree with the whole writing with emotion. I write for children, and you got to have a lot of happies and sads and exciteds in there.
Yes.
And so
Yes.
it's and short and sweet,
Yep.
it has to be succinct, but I do my best. One of my favorites that I've written is a patriotic book called Who Says the Flag Stands Alone? And I shared this at the last open mic that I was at. And I told the people in attendance, I said, I cried through writing the whole book because it was just it was heartfelt, and in a country that's chaotic right now, something
Yeah, exactly.
positive and encouraging in patriotism and honoring our flag. It really touched me very deeply. So I completely understand the crying through the writing.
Oh
So
yeah. And if a children's book touches you that way as you're writing it, imagine what writing, a longer novel, a young adult novel, or even, a novel could
right.
do when you hit those really poignant parts.
Yeah. So anyway, I have to cut out. I've got a class I need to go teach. So thank you. And I enjoyed your
Welcome.
remarks a lot. So
Thank you.
we'll see everybody later.
okay,
Bye.
Kim. Thank you for
Thank
Okay.
you,
coming.
Beth.
Thank
I
you. You're
enjoy
welcome.
things Asian, so I'm looking forward to reading. Is it For Love of a Samurai? Is that the
It's
title?
love of a samurai. It originally was for love of a samurai. It was originally for the love of a samurai, but I dropped off the first two names, the first two words.
Just
But it's
Love of a Samurai.
love of a samurai.
Yeah.
And then she's got another part that's going to be in the coming anthology we're publishing next month for the transcendent authors that
Yeah.
I'm the founder of. We're doing a book called Reverie, and that's going to be in there. So
But like she said, make sure you have your tissues because you will need
Yes.
them more than once.
I think I was crying halfway, through half the book.
Yeah.
But it's
Someday.
but it's yeah, it's a
Beth,
beautiful
is it
book.
on, is
Absolutely
it,
beautiful book.
Beth, is it on Kindle?
Yes, ma'am. It's
It
not
is,
on
okay.
Kindle Unlimited, but it is on Kindle. It is
On
available
Kindle,
for Amazon.
thank you.
Mhm.
With my
I
And I
vision
was,
issues now, I mostly read with Kindle.
oh yeah,
mhm.
no, my mom was like that and everything, and I think pretty much anymore I'm reading on Kindle right now just because I try and read with the book. I wind up, you know, I should have bruises across my nose from trying to read with a book. I fall asleep
Yeah.
half the time.
Mm.
Well,
Well,
Beth,
thank you for your words. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thank you. And I'd look forward to hearing your thoughts on the book after you read it.
Yeah, I usually do a review. And
Good.
that's one of the things that we do with APW. We have one group that's for just our own authors, and we read our own books and then do reviews for our authors.
mhm.
And that's the best thing indie authors, can have happen, is have people out there that read them and review them and everything. So
Mhm.
Yeah. One of the
Okay.
things that I've found when I get deeply involved emotionally in a book is they become my friends.
oh
And
yes.
when I was younger, and even today, there's some that I have read 5, 6, 7 times, and I still laugh. I still cry because they're my friends.
Mhm. Mhm.
Paul Atreides from Dune is probably one of my oldest friends, and he and I have coffee at least once every 5 to 7 years.
Paula, you were going to say something?
Yeah, I early in my writing, I commented to somebody that I don't know why I like writing series. And she told me it's because it's like visiting old friends.
Mhm.
And I have, published 5 different series now uh, because I like visiting old friends.
Paula, what is your genre?
Well, mystery.
Mystery. Oh, okay.
Yes, I have 4 mystery series, but one I've only published one book in so far.
Apparently, I'm going to be going back and visiting with some old friends from Love of a Samurai next year.
Yes, yes, you need to. I'm pestering
Angels,
her for 2 other books out of there at least. So
Angel's fault.
yep, my fault. I
Angel's
own
fault.
that.
Because she came back to me. She goes, by the way, she goes, does Sato get his own? Does Sato get his own lady? I think he deserves his own lady. And then,
Yeah.
and we're all writers
Yep.
here. You know how our characters are. He's standing there, in the back of my head, going, "Yeah, yeah, she's right. I deserve my own lady." And then here comes another one. Do I
And
get
then
one too?
Asano. I need mine
Asano,
too. Yep.
Asano. Yep. So yeah. Um,
Well,
See, I
thank you,
know
Beth. I'm
this
going to
is how much
sign
I
off.
love this book. I have a bad memory. I mean, I can read a book and forget characters in minutes. It's been how long since I read that? And I'm like, Sato is,
yeah.
yeah, I still love Sato and Asano. They're, the characters just spoke to me that much.
Marie?
Maria,
Yeah, I'm
thank
going
you
to,
for coming.
yes, thank you, Beth. I've enjoyed that. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Take care, love.
Does anybody have anything coming up soon that they're going to be launching? A new book or anything like that?
I know Angela and I both have pieces in a Why Choose the what is it? Our
The
roommate dilemma.
roommate dilemma. It's a
Roommate
Why Choose
dilemma.
anthology.
Yeah. Then we've
And then
got
I
that
have 2
coming out.
anthologies next month that I'm releasing that I have stories in that are charity anthologies for veterans.
And then we've got it's the
Transcendent
Dark
Authors
Kings.
one.
The Dark Kings one too, don't we,
Yeah,
Angel?
The Dark
Yeah, the
Kings. The
Dark
Dark
Kings.
Kings comes out in December.
So those are the last two shorts that I've got coming out
Oh, she
this
didn't
year.
rope you into the Christmas one?
No, oh no, that's right. I do have the Christmas
I
one.
was to say
Yes,
a Christmas
the
wish.
Christmas one.
Yeah,
Yes,
Vic wrote me into
Christmas
that
wish.
one too, so I'm like trying to scramble to get it written as well.
Kathleen, didn't she rope you into the Christmas wish too?
No, it was too short a notice.
Okay.
Not with everything else I've got going on because I've got,
I know we tried.
I'm
yeah,
a glutton for punishment because between now and the end of 2027, I have like 30 different projects I have to get out. And I'm a glutton for punishment because I'm
You're
like,
not
sure,
the
I'll
only
well,
sign
one
up for
because
this.
you're not the only
yeah,
one, so don't feel
yeah.
bad.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for coming. Remember
Thank you,
the
Beth.
things that we have coming up. The APW State Conference is coming up either the 25th of April or the 2nd of May. We're still looking at venues. That's why we don't have a fixed date yet. And we have open mic, share your words, the second Friday of each month here in Sholo. We also have the next conference is going to be July 1st, and the festival is going to be August 1st. We're going to start taking entries for the Writers Contest starting March 1st and going to the 1st of June. And it is a minimum of 500 words to 1,500 words, can be fiction or nonfiction. Entries are $20 if you want a deep critique. It's 40, but you can enter as many stories as you want. First prize is $20 or $200. Second prize is $150. So,
And you misspoke. The writers' conference is July 31st, not July
oh, thank,
1st.
oh, thank you, thank you very much. Yes, because they're right next to each other. One leads to the other.
Mm.
And we are lining up our speakers now for that time. So you'll be able to register for the conference and the festival on January 1st for early bird. It'll be on the website. It's going to be automated so you can do your payment, fill out your paperwork, everything right then and there. So, and if you have any questions, please be sure and contact me. I made a typo. I forgot the S on White Mountains in that email, so please double check that. If you need to get hold of me, you can at that email for everything White Mountains. So, does anybody have anything that they'd like to say or anything like that?
Thank you for letting me join you guys, guys and
Oh,
gals. I actually used to live in Tucson, and I'd messaged Beth a little bit ago. It's like I really do miss living in that area. Now I'm in
mm-hmm.
Florida. Get the heat, but you also get the horrible humidity here, and I'm over it.
Well,
Oh yeah.
we don't have we're up in the mountains.
Oh yeah, we have a mutual friend who lives further up in the mountainous area of Arizona, and she was like, "You need to just come here." I'm like, um, that requires me having the money to move, and that's not an option at the moment.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like
Yeah,
that requires something I don't have right this second. Extra
yeah.
money for moving.
Well, we have a lovely countryside up here. Beautiful.
Oh
And
yeah, it's gorgeous up there.
and Claire,
Absolutely gorgeous.
you were going to say something, Claire?
Oh, well, what were you just going to say?
I was just going to say we are in the beginning stages of a 5-year plan for the art center. It's going to become a mecca up here. This they've got 50 acres that the county has us on, and it's going to be transformed into having studios and apartments and a 10,000-foot facility. So it's a 5 years that it's going to take, but it's going to be fabulous.
Just out of curiosity, is there anywhere in the plan for artists to come and stay for, say, a week and work on stuff and rent space? Well,
Yes.
that would be way cool. I could
Yeah.
enjoy that.
Yeah, they are talking about studios, being able to have fellowships up here even. And there's going to be a commercial side for people to have in an apartment up here, plus the art studios. Um,
Cool.
yeah, that are
What,
full apartments.
great.
Yeah.
What I was just going to say is when you were talking about the area up there, White Mountains, I enjoyed it so much the two times I've been up there that's where I placed the story that came out in the anthology we published last month, Come Hell or High Water. And I
Oh,
created
good.
a flash flood that, and but it gave me a chance to have, to have the main character driving from the Pine Lakes area to Show Low to, get
Hmm.
involved in the investigation and, just kind of what it's like in that area. So,
That's awesome. Awesome.
Cool. I like that.
So when
Yeah.
you come next year, then you're going to have something to say, and this is based here.
yep.
And that will sell.
And and in fact, I owe the director of the art center a copy of the anthology because I told her I'd give her one because I had the character who was killed in it was in addition to her day job was an artist because artists have to have a day job and so she had some of her artwork at the art center, so I was able to use the art center in there too. So I
Oh,
had
cool.
told her that at the conference this past year because I knew the story was coming out, just it got
Uh-huh.
published last month.
That's going to be exciting. That I can't wait to. What's the name of it? Come hell or high water, or
Well,
is that
that's
the
the
name of your
short
store?
story. The
Okay.
anthology is So West Danger Awaits, and
Okay.
it's the 11th Desert Sleuths anthology, and I was
Okay.
also the lead editor for it.
Oh wow.
Fun.
Trust me, I know that job.
And it sucks.
Yeah. Yeah. We're putting out our eighth one next month. So, and then we're going to start on the seven deadly sins. We're going to
Ooh,
do
I
two
know
a
them all.
year.
I'm quite familiar with them.
The first two we're going to do is greed and lust. So that's going to be really good. So, well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being here. And know that the fourth Tuesday night we meet. Next month, we're going to have Scott Harrington speak. He writes, um, I guess you could say, espionage thriller type of thing. He is a martial arts expert. He does several different styles. He and his brother have had dojos up here for years. And in fact, he just got back from scuba diving, I think, off the coast of South America, because that's in his next book.
Nice.
And but he's going to be talking about putting action in your story and timing it and things like that. So it'll be another 20-minute presentation, and I'll send out invitations to everybody.
Cool.
Okay, good stuff. All right, you guys have a wonderful week and sleep tight.
Have a great week.
Take care, everyone.
Thank you
Good
very much.
night. Good night.
Good night.